Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Right.
Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute, and I have an amazing young comedian with me. Adiel K, everybody, is here with me. Adiel, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Feel like a woodpecker in a lumberyard.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm so happy to have you here, my friend. I want to say before we start, because I went to your website and I'll put all the links to your website and all the stuff you've done. You've done a lot of cool stuff.
Oh, thank you,
But
man.
on your website, it says, be the light until you see the light. And I just want to tell you how cool that is. That's really cool.
Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that. I
I
believe it.
like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bring joy to people's lives.
Yeah, yeah. Try it. Do
Yeah.
your best, man. Yeah.
Okay. Let's start. You're in New York right now.
Uh-huh.
Were you born and raised in New York?
I was uh so I was born in
You were
Boynton
born, right?
Beach.
A bird didn't shit you out and hatch you or something,
All
right?
right. Well, technically, so I like to tell people this. I was born in Boynton Beach, grew up in Florida, conceived in Yonkers.
Okay, okay. I didn't need all that. We're
Hey,
just,
man, you
buddy. We're
asked.
just going. You
You
live in New
asked, man.
York,
So technically,
and
I'm
you
a
were
New Yorker.
originally. No,
Technically,
wait a second. Now you got me
technically.
confused.
Hey, man.
You're in New York now,
Yeah,
but you were conceived. Where were you conceived?
I was.
But you were born in
I
Florida.
was born in Florida,
All
conceived in
right,
New
all
York.
right. Let's move on. Let's move on. We, Christ, we even got where you're.
Hey, man, I didn't even ask for that information. They
Hey,
just
I
told
look.
me.
This is the way I do them.
Yeah,
That's what makes them great because
yeah,
you don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what you're going to say.
exactly.
When did you start doing
We're
comedy?
like free range chickens.
That's free range comedy. Let's call it
Yeah.
that.
I started about 5 years ago at this pub
Okay.
called Robot Brewing Company. They
Okay.
do open mics every Wednesday, and I was working at a liquor store at the time, and my buddy,
I like it.
he, me and my buddy, we were working at the liquor store, and he told me he just made a new beer at this brewing company. And they have a bar and stuff, So we went over. It's only a few blocks away from the liquor store, and we went over and we tried the beer. This beer tasted great. It was like 11%. It was awesome. It
Right.
felt great. And then we go into the bar area, and they're having an open mic. So we were just, chilling, chugging some brews and vibing out. And we were watching some of the open mic comedians, and I was watching some of the open mic comedians. The best comedian, of course, was this like 78-year-old guy who was just, just like killing it, dude, crushing it. And like
Okay.
these kids would go up and would just, I don't know, it kind of like maybe I was like, you know, so I gave it a try about
This is
the the,
5 years
fol- the
ago.
following week. Yeah, about five
Yeah.
years ago.
Well,
And
and that, the question there was a catalyst. Hey, hey, come back. You're going away. Don't
I'm
go
so sorry. I'm
away.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Bad enough you got a goddamn phone call. Let's
I know. I know. I know.
keep
I
this shit on
apologize.
track. You get me pissed off, my temper will get flared like a pack of hemorrhoids at you.
Gotcha.
All right, now,
My bad.
I think that kind of tied into the catalyst. Was there something that made you 5 years ago say, I want to start doing comedy?
Yeah, it was more like I didn't. I mean, I didn't see myself working at the liquor store my whole life. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
obviously, but I mean, sometimes there's a catalyst to break up or, something in your life that says, hey, I think I'll do comedy.
Um.
Never
uh,
mind. Never mind.
I mean, I was a huge comedy head. Growing up,
Okay.
I would listen to Sirius XM on the radio. I listened to Raw Dog, Laugh USA, all those types of stuff, and
Okay.
I'd listen to comedians. I'd listen to Patrice. I'd listen to Burr. I'd listen to
Yeah, well, that's getting ahead as far as the comedians inspired you and stuff.
Carlin. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
had
okay. I had a
inspiration.
conversation with George Carlin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that?
This is about you, brother.
Yeah, okay, okay.
You got a voice. Now, again, I don't know from what's a bit to what's really true. You recently got a voice acting gig on the radio. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. Wow, you did your research. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I do a little bit. I try
okay.
to.
I like it. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. No, I'm. You didn't obviously look at my or don't know. I worked in the music business my whole life. I used to go to radio stations and beg the people to play ZZ
I
Top or
watched.
Cheap Trick or Kiss or whoever I worked with. Go ahead.
That's awesome. That's
Go
amazing.
ahead.
Yeah.
No, enough. No, because I love the story that you told.
Yeah, it's a true story. It's a true
Go ahead and
story.
tell the people. I love it. It's great. Tell the people what you do. It's a real deal. I love it.
Okay, so I got this voice acting gig for my roommate actually hooked it up for me. It's called for iHeartRadio,
Right.
and I think one of the channels they hooked me up with the gig for was 102.9 The Beats.
Right.
So I get a call, and I don't know. First of all, as you know, these voice acting gigs, they're mostly scripted, but I don't know if you listen to talk radio for your
Yeah.
listeners out there, but if you do listen to talk radio, one of the things that they like to do is to bust people in relationships who they think if they're cheating, and so they'll bring a caller on the line, and the caller will call up and be like, "Hey, I think my husband's cheating on me or my boyfriend's cheating on me."
Right.
And then they get the husband or the boyfriend on the line,
And
you know, trying
that's where you come in.
trying to bust them, with a scenario. And yeah, that's who I played. I played the husband and the boyfriend who was, cheating on my wife, and
I just had no idea. Not to interrupt you, but I just had no idea that it was scripted. In other words, I always thought from live radio back in the day
yeah,
that they actually got the
that's
husband on the
hilarious. That
phone,
is
or the
so
boyfriend
funny.
on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? After I told my mom I got this voice acting gig, and I told her what I was gonna be, it blew her mind. She was like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
not real."
No, it blew my mind too because again, I used to go to radio stations. It was not. That's you know. Anyway, let's move on. That's pretty cool. That's funny. And we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
part. You're part of the L Train Productions.
Yeah, that's I mean, we're in the stages of forming the company really. But
You got.
me
Let me
and
just elaborate. You got something a short film called Get the Comic. Is that right?
that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff.
Oh, wow, thank you. I really
I mean
appreciate
it.
that, Scott. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
The production value of your videos is absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow. That means the world to me, man. Thank you. I mean, I couldn't, big shout out to Isaiah Mueller, who I, co-write, co-direct, co-produce with. We kind of,
He's your co-star and
yeah,
everything.
he's a co-star. So I wouldn't be, have all these things without him. He's really a visionary in his own right, and
Okay.
a master at what he does as well. So big shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked on Get the Comic first. We started off
Right.
doing stand-up comedy in the circuit in New York and Brooklyn, and
Right.
kind of all the boroughs, traveling all around, still doing it. And we decided to make a short film. He wrote a script, and I kind of edited it, and we filmed it, and then we screened it. We screened it all over New York City, man, and places, spots like Producers Club. Shout out Producers Club, Caffeine Underground, where I work at.
Right.
Other cafes that kind of host comedy shows and
And
screenings and that kind of stuff.
you went
Williamsburg Comedy Club.
then
Um,
to the streets. Let's move on to the streets because
yeah,
that was another thing that in if I'm right, I could be wrong. Weren't you guys in Denver at one point?
yeah, man. So that's so cool,
Because
dude.
that was funny stuff. That was funny stuff. I enjoyed that.
Oh man, thank you, man. Yeah. Rolling Roland. Shout out Denver Community Media for having us in the really nice sketch fest at To the Streets. That's the poster behind me. We went out there. We got so at we after we did the screenings and submitted to film festivals. We
Yeah,
got
you
selected.
went to the film thing there, and yeah, in
Yeah,
Denver.
out in Denver for To the Streets. To the Streets is for your viewers is a sketch comedy show
Yeah,
slash podcast. The concept, the premise of it is me and my co-star, co-producing partner Isaiah Mueller. we start out, trying to get these wild, wacky characters on
I mean,
our
you guys do a lot
podcast.
of funny stuff
Thank you, man. Thank
on
you.
Instagram, your reels and stuff, and but keep going because I'll get to some
Y-
questions I have about that.
Yeah. No, no worries. Please interrupt whenever you have a question. We try to get these wacky characters on our podcast to try to get more
Oh
views.
yeah, the guy with
He
the
was
ice
he was
cream,
he
that
was
guy with the ice cream, he was fucking bizarre. Yeah, there's some
Monster
crazy shit going on.
Monster Creamy. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
best.
there's
Shout
some
out
crazy
Neil
shit
Ryan
going
Walsh.
on.
Shout out Neil Walsh.
You got some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, he's great, man. So we try to get these characters, and we write for the characters, and then we'd have the
Right,
characters. We'd write a sketch for the characters, and then we'd have them on the podcast as the character they are in the sketch. Most of these characters,
right.
comedians that are also in the circuit, performing all over Brooklyn.
All
So
right, let's move on because, like I said, there's so much to cover. But
yeah.
your hang on now because I sent you a thing before we started. Your latest thing that I've seen is Bad Therapy, again with your partner, right?
Yeah. We kind of co-wrote the miniseries.
Right.
Uh, the
Tell the people about it because then I just want to interject two
Yeah,
quick things.
the premise of that is bad therapy. Me and my co-star Isaiah Mueller are two therapists who try to therapize a
Yeah,
comic in each episode, and we end up just being terrible therapists, and
yeah.
it makes them regret ever trying therapy. And that's pretty much the premise.
I love it. And let me just I'll interject my first thing.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with Dennis Leary, the comedian Dennis
of
Leary?
course. Yeah, I love Dennis
He
Leary.
does a bit. I don't know if you ever heard it. He does a bit about being the world's worst therapist. That
Okay.
people would come in and be like, "Well, I just shut the fuck up." Next. Well, I thought would shut the fuck up. Next. He's like, I would
Yeah,
be the world's worst therapist.
yeah.
So I loved it, but now keep going because I watched one and I want to interject one more quick thing. I
Yeah,
sent you a
yeah.
video.
We wrote a mini series, so each comprising of videos lasting up to 5 minutes. The therapy sessions, we kind of film these therapy sessions of like what would be funny with these comedians. One of the comedians we had a blow up doll. We had him married to a blow up doll, and and then we tried therapizing them as a couple. We had a guy just in sunglasses that would, just we couldn't get a read on him, so we kind of wrote a sketch about,
Or the guy, Adiel, I say it right?
Adiel. Yeah,
Adiel.
it's okay. I've gotten worse. I've gotten
No,
worse.
I'm sorry,
I've
Adiel.
gotten
As you say, the first
Adele. I've
Adiel I
gotten
ever met.
Adele. I gotten yeah.
Adiel, I sent you a video because I'd like full disclosure
Yeah.
about Yuri Talachko because I was shocked that I watched this and I had sent you. I don't know if did you get a chance to watch because if you didn't, it's even better.
I saw that you sent it, but I didn't get a chance to watch
Oh,
it
that's
because
perfect. That's
I was
perfect because
okay.
now you'll be shocked.
Okay.
So I watched your clip with the black guy and he's got a black blow up doll and he's complaining that he cheated on. The guy I sent you, I've done 2 different minutes on it. The guy's name is Yuri Talachko.
Yeah.
He's from Kazakhstan,
Right.
and he married his sex doll.
Yeah.
But he dated it first.
Of course.
He dated it for 6 months, or whatever. He wanted to get to know it. Then he married it, but he got a divorce. He cheated on it. But he cheated on it with a inanimate object and a supermarket chicken. And he's now in love with an ashtray.
Okay.
And now I found out he's actually with another man. He actually is trying a human being now. So just
He's a
thought
man.
I'd throw that out
Yeah.
there for you.
No, that's yeah. That makes.
Um, I'm
Oh
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry, dude. I gotta watch this video
Yeah,
now.
Yuri Talachko. It's a real dude from Kazakhstan. I had a girl that went to Kazakhstan or whatever. Someone told me to ask you about your start at the tiny cupboard.
Yeah. Well, I started out, going to Mike's. One of the Mike's that I lived by was this place called the Tiny Cupboard, and I went so often, so frequently that the original host who was hosting it, shout out Anya Jones. She's a great stand-up comedian. She
Well,
asked
you know
me,
what? I want you to get her on my show, okay?
okay,
If you
yeah,
can do
yeah,
it,
of
if you can do it,
course.
I'd love to have her on.
Love Anya. Yeah, I'd do
Okay?
anything for her for sure. Absolutely. I she asked me to take over hosting the mics, so I said
Tiny cupboard.
absolutely. Yeah, she built a pretty good community of open micers who'd come to her mic.
Okay.
She It was a feedback mic, so basically you get 5 minutes and then 2 minutes of feedback at the end from other
Right.
open mic comedians on their sets, and it was really constructive. It was great criticism, constructive criticism, great feedback. She'd host. She, made sure it was a good atmosphere for
But
comedians.
now I thought there was some humor there, for God's sakes. A matter of fact, let's just do it. Patrick Golden told me to ask you about that. I thought there was some fucking humor there.
Well, Patrick Golden, he would come on stage in like pajamas and a pillow and a blanket, and then start sleeping during the middle of his, not in the middle of his set, the start of his set, and then wake up, start brushing his teeth, eat a sandwich. And that was his whole set. And then he'd bring a boombox on, and like he was on the train, like he was on a subway, and then start dancing like he was a fucking Showtime dancer, dude. It was just like the most insane shit I've ever seen at an open mic.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
And
that
while we're
sound
at
like
it,
Patrick Golden?
hey, well, since we're at it, why don't we just give him a bit as you're doing shout outs to
Yeah,
people?
shout out Patrick
I'm
Golden,
gonna
man.
give
Shout out
shout out
Patrick
to
Golden for hooking
because
this up, dude.
Patrick Golden
Great
set
comedian,
this
great
up.
guy.
Patrick Golden said to me, Scotty, you got to get this guy on. And here we are. And I'm going,
Hey, amen,
Patrick, you
brother. Amen.
fucking jerk off. Patrick, what have you done? What have you done? I'm kidding you.
No,
I
Patrick.
love your stuff. I
Hey,
love your
man.
stuff. I think you're
We.
amazing.
Oh, thank you, man. You as well. I love your stuff.
Oh,
I saw
stop it. You haven't watched
the
any
I saw
goddamn
I
thing.
saw the George Wallace video before.
Yeah,
It's good
George.
stuff.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah, I have another one coming up. Not, I shouldn't name drop. Tom Hanks told me not to do it, but I'm fucking with you. I got
Yeah.
Kathy Ladman coming up.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard of Kathy Ladman?
No, but I think I saw Carrie Louise.
Yeah, Carrie Louise is on. I have
Pretty
Jan
cool.
Karam coming up.
Pretty
But
cool.
Kathy Ladman's been on the Tonight Show 10 times, been doing comedy for 40 plus years.
Wow.
Another one like George Wallace that just, and I'm so thankful. But I got to be honest, I have as much fun with you as I do. I actually have more fun with you than
Hey.
no,
Hey,
because
appreciate that,
there
man.
I'm nervous as
Yeah, I'm
shit.
having fun right now. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, because I'm nervous as shit. With you, I'm not
Me
nervous.
too, dude. Dude, I told you I have 2 comedy minutes because I'm not sure if the first one
Well,
you're
you know
gonna.
what? I told you there's no puzzle. There's no puzzle.
Yeah.
You're going to do them both. Matter of fact,
Well, you know
why
what?
don't we do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I never
Okay.
do this, but I'll do it. I'll edit it. I'll do one now. I'll do an introduction. Adiel K, your comedy minute. Go ahead. Do that one. Do the first one.
Okay, so the first one, this is a true story. I haven't told this to anybody. It's never been
Okay.
set. It's never. This is fresh. This is new.
Perfect. Perfect. We
So
love it.
back down in Florida, I was driving around with one of my hockey buddies,
Okay.
and my buddy, he gets a call from the hospital saying, "Hey, your friend has alcohol poisoning. We need you to come and get him, take care of him."
Right.
So I'm in the car with him. It's like, it's nighttime, and we go to the hospital, and
I'm already laughing.
and we see him. The nurse is, he goes up to the nurse, and the nurse is he's like, "Hi, you here for your friend?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's my best friend. Is he okay?" He's like, they have him out on a gurney in the middle of the hallway.
Okay.
And this dude, he starts, we get to him, and he's drunk out of his mind saying the N-word.
Oh no.
Just
Oh
keeps
no.
saying it. Just keep like he has Tourette's saying the N word. Of course, the nurse is black, and
Oh my God.
she goes, "Is this your friend?" And my buddy goes after he sees him saying this, he goes, well, I don't know if we're really friends, more like acquaintances, really. I mean, we haven't known each other that long, actually. We met kind of in passing. And then the nurse goes, well, you must be great friends because he has you as his emergency contact. And my buddy goes, well, sometimes, that it can just, that could be a mistake. There's a lot of guys he knows named Johnny. And then she goes, well, he actually asked for you by name. Is your last name Garbage? And
Oh man.
and then we both look at each other and we go, uh, you know,
I bet let me just say this.
the most uncomfortable position.
I was gonna say I bet you got him and got the hell out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a drag. It was a drag. Let's
Cool,
just call
cool.
it that.
Let's move on because we want to get to the second one.
You want to get to the
No,
second one?
no, no. We're gonna keep going. I got because I got 5 years you've been doing it.
Yeah.
We'll ask another question or two. A favorite show that you've done, okay, in 5 years, and then me being the asshole, the least favorite show where the wheels came off.
Favorite show that I've done.
Do you have a
Uh,
favorite show you've done in 5 years? Well, if you don't like that question that year, I'll do a different question. Do you want a different question or you want to tell me about your lead? Because here's the other quick question, because I'm just intrigued by this. You guys do such amazing video stuff,
yeah.
Instagram reel, or whatever you're doing. Do you enjoy doing that more than stand up or do you enjoy doing stand up more?
I think they both feed off of each other. I mean, I love aspects of stand up that it's just I can use my creativity individually, like my life experiences, because
Right.
I'm kind of a storytelling comic.
Yeah.
That's what I aspire
That
to
was a great
become.
story you just told. That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you, man. And I like that aspect, but I also like the story aspect of doing sketch comedy and short films, and
Okay.
we're working on a feature film right now.
Okay.
So I kind of I enjoy them both. I think they're both different in their own respective art forms.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that answers the
Yeah,
question.
it's good enough. Good
Yeah,
enough for me. What about did you think of a favorite show or a least favorite show? Least favorite's what I'm looking for. That's where the meat is.
the least favorite. Um,
You know
dude,
what I'm talking about.
I don't know if you saw my
Well,
last.
no, I'll tell you what. You
Yeah.
talking about Patrick Golden coming up on stage in a diaper or whatever and rolling around
Okay.
or
Okay. I'll tell you.
no,
I'll
no,
tell you
no, no.
this,
I was just saying we save that for another time. Maybe you and Patrick come on together and we can elaborate on that. But do you have
yeah,
another similar story like that one?
dude. I had to do. It was called a hot pepper show, and
Okay.
what's funny about this show is It was Patrick's show, but he didn't even show up. He didn't show up to his own show. And it was him and this comic he hosts Mike's with.
Shout out to Patrick.
Shout out to Patrick Terry Wong. Uh, he uh, he had me on this show. It was a hot peppers show, and the concept of the show is you had to eat 5 hot peppers, each in successive order, like getting hotter and hotter, right?
Right.
So the first one's not that hot; it's a little hot, and then the next one's like a jalapeno. It's hot. The
Right.
next one is like habanero. Pretty
Right.
hot, and then it keeps going up. And the
I
last
got
one
you.
is like a scorpion pepper, and it's like the
Yeah.
hottest one. And I ate all 5 of them, and then did stand up comedy. And I don't know if you've ever eaten a hot pepper before, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't really talk after.
I just did a bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, your voice is all dry. You can barely
That's wild.
nobody could even make out the words I was saying because I was just burning in my throat, dude. I was chugging milk afterwards. I almost threw up. I almost made myself throw up, but it was a competition of who could eat all 5 peppers the
Yeah.
fastest and then do a set.
That sounds like a bad show.
It was a bad show, but
Right. I'll bet.
I ate them and I won $100. So
Oh,
that's
there
something.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, came out with a win.
Well,
Almost
listen,
dying.
I've had a wonderful time. We don't have a lot
Dude,
of
this has
time
been
left.
awesome.
I don't have a lot of time left, but we're going to do another comedy minute because you got, in case that one wasn't good enough. I thought it was great. And they're both going to be in the
Okay.
show.
Okay.
But,
Awesome.
why not?
Yeah. Uh,
Hang on. Well, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Just go.
I
Just
mean, that
go.
was my original minute that I wanted to do. I'm glad it was good enough to make the cut,
We
man. 'Cause
go with plan B.
what was plan B? Okay. So, this is a recent joke. This is a recent joke. First of all, I got to say, shout out Ian Ford.
Okay.
For he's my boss at where I work, Caffeine Underground. I work as a barista part time
Okay, cool.
to support my dreams. And
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful.
and I came up with this bit. I mean, it's kind of like he's my manager, right? And shout
Right.
out, he's like the best boss I've ever had. And
Cool.
he we were working behind the counter one time, and I was making sandwiches. He was ringing up people for coffee, and some dude comes in and orders, and can I get a latte with cow milk? And one thing you gotta know about my boss, Ian, he's such a likable, great guy. But he gets so because he gets so intimate with customers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Yeah, I got you.
He gets so intimate that he starts. I don't know if he's like fucking with them, some half of the time because of how intimate he gets. But after this customer ordered a latte with cow milk, he goes, we actually used to have a cow in the shop. We never stop. We never had a cow. That way, he goes, we used to milk for the milk. And I just kept working. I was like eavesdropping. I just kept working. But then, it was like 5 minutes went by, and he goes, we actually had a goat in the shop once.
Goat milk.
And at that point, I was just like, all right, next customer, next customer. I had to like intervene because I felt like Dwight Schrute from The Office was my boss for like 5 minutes. So,
I mentioned
yeah.
earlier about Dennis Leary. Have you ever seen Lewis Black? You familiar with Lewis Black?
Love Lewis Black. I grew up on Lewis Black.
I met Lou in
No
Vegas.
way, dude.
Hold
No
on, hold on.
way.
But wait, have you ever seen his bit about milk? 2%, this for that. I want moo cow fuck milk. That's what I want. Moo cow fuck milk.
That
That's what
sounds like
went
such
through
a
my
Lewis
mind when you
Black
were doing
line.
that. I
That sounds
love
like
Lou.
such a Lewis Black line. I mean, he's like famous for the Starbucks line,
Yeah.
where he
He's
goes, I walk out of a Starbucks and across the street is another Starbucks.
yeah, right.
So great, dude.
He's
So great.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, look, I tell you what, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning,
Yeah. Glad he
but no,
finally
we got it
resolved it.
worked out, and I
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here.